Hey, Roy with you. I appreciate you sticking around. Today we're gonna be talking about HNW's latest protocol, the Refinery. Now HNW stands for High Net Worth, and this project has been around actually for a really long time. A really long time in the DeFi word means more than half a year, kinda. So yeah, HNW started trading back in October 2021. That was when it began with its elite token, HNW. And yeah, so this is gonna be a subject for another video. We're just gonna be sticking with the refinery for this one. I'm gonna break it down by giving a brief background of HNW, then visit the refinery's dashboard, talk about its different elements, and at the end I will mention what's next for the whole project. With that being said, let's roll. Alright, yeah, so starting with a bit of background on HNW. So like I said, they started trading back in October 2021. And their mission, I think, is to give access to their holders to future wealth. So they're not in it to do a quick project, pump and dump, and then move on. So they're basically building protocols on top of their platform. That's what they're doing. And honestly, it's one of the most professional teams I have seen in a long time. I gotta admit. I've been with them since the launch of HNW and I'm still with them till date. So yeah, and they honestly have a very interesting roadmap which they so far fulfilled. And one of the main aspects that I noticed about them when it comes to professionalism is the fact that they do offer careers and they do offer services to other projects, not just potentially the Launchpad that's gonna come, but also they do offer personnel that can work for other projects for an actual salary, not just modding for free or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna go quickly and launch the app. And while doing so, alright, cool, my wallet is connected. While doing so, I want to mention that HNW has a total supply of 1 million tokens. That's a finite supply. They can never be more than that. And trading for buy sells are about 5%. So, and it's distributed based on marketing, based on distribution for holders later on, because I mentioned staking, right? So, and so on, and liquidity as well. So yeah, right here in the app on the dashboard, you can clearly see the price of HNW on the right. And like I said, one of the main utilities of HNW when it launched was staking. The other one was purchasing NFTs. Now staking is a bit different in the HNW app, because they did it a bit differently than usual. Usually you stake a token, right, and then you get a percentage, an APR based on your stake, either in the native token or in another token. But here you actually don't get you don't get staking rewards straight away. But when you do stake your tokens, so I'm gonna go ahead right now to HNW and go to stake. You see, so I'm using a decoy wallet, so nothing is shown. But let's assume I have HNW to stake. When I do stake it here in the input, I get a token called XHNW. And that XHNW is the staked version, which has a ratio versus the native version. So right now the ratio is 1x XHNW is worth 1.95. Now when they first launched staking back in October, it was 1-to-1. But then, since then, every week, when they were releasing the staking rewards per se, that ratio was changing. I.e., if you staked 100 tokens then, right now you would have 195. So you would have almost doubled your tokens since. Plus price appreciation. So that's something really cool actually, and I really liked about them. And like I said, the second one was minting NFTs, which right now are sold out, as you can see. They had 5 tiers: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, obsidian, and each one of these tiers has its own incentives. You can read more about these in their Medium article, so in the documentation right here. But yeah, now they're sold out. And the minting process actually took some time, and as you can see, you need HNW tokens in order to mint these. So each one of these would cost the respective amount that you can see right here. So that was the initial utility of the HNW token. Then they launched HFUEL. They had different plans for HFUEL, but then they decided to use HFUEL for the refinery. And that's actually the main topic of this video, and that's what we're gonna be jumping in. But before I do that, I'll just quickly mention that if you'd like to purchase either HNW or HFUEL, you can just click on the buy button here, because both tokens, since they run on the Binance Smart Chain, are directly linked to PancakeSwap and can be purchased there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click on buy here, and it takes me directly to PancakeSwap. It's gonna tell me to import the HFUEL token on the understand, import, connect wallet, done. Very simple. So everything can be done through the app right here and takes you there. Now, also, they released a temporary staking feature for the HFUEL token that was pre-refinery. They wanted to give more incentive for the people who want to enter the refinery, but that is gone right now. HNW staking remains. HFUEL staking was a one-time off just before refinery. And the migrate here, because they changed contracts, so if you are still in the old contract with your old tokens, you have to migrate them by coming here, entering the amount. So obviously max, you don't want to leave any tokens behind. Then approve, and then you click on migrate, and then they're gonna be registered under the new contract. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now let's go over the dashboard of the refinery and talk about the elements. Jumping into the dashboard, a huge disclaimer appears. So this basically tells us that in order to deposit and participate in the refinery, you need a Wingman. And Wingman is essentially a wallet address of someone who is already in the protocol. And if you deposit with him, you're gonna basically be giving him incentives in the form of HFUEL. However, choosing a team or a Wingman is something that you will be doing later on. And there's actually a Telegram channel that will help you get there, because a lot of teams offer good incentives. Like they would give you back the deposit tax that you paid in order to enter, potentially weekly airdrops in the form of HFUEL tokens, meaning they would give you HFUEL tokens, staked of course, and other potential incentives. So yeah, I'm gonna accept the disclaimer. So here's our dashboard. Now the refinery in a nutshell is essentially an ROI platform. ROI means return on investment. So you put something in and you're gonna get something out. And whenever you purchase HFUEL and you come here, you put the amount, you approve, and then you deposit. But before you do that, like I said, you need the Wingman. Hence the huge disclaimer. So you input the address of that person or team, and then you update. If you click on support marketing, you will use by default the marketing wallet. And unfortunately, the marketing wallet is the team's, meaning you won't get any incentives. But if you want to play it solo, you can do that. And here on the bottom, yeah, you can check out other people's addresses to see a few infos, and you can also do airdrops. That is, if you are someone who has a team and you want to give to your people, so you can, for example, here if you enter your address, you'll see your team, so all the addresses under you. Team airdrop, your address, the campaign, what's it about, you put the minimum directs, the depth, so how many layers in, what is the criteria, then here the budget. So let's say I want to send 1,000 HFUEL, and then it gets distributed randomly. So yeah, or you can directly airdrop someone, so entering his wallet address, his or her wallet address, the amount, and then send directly. This is all very cool, but the most important part here is that when you do deposit the HFUEL tokens, they're gonna get burned forever. i.e. you're not gonna have access to them anymore. That's it. But the good part is that you're gonna be earning 1% on your deposits, right? So you deposit an amount, the number of HFUEL tokens, and then you're gonna be earning, let's say I have 1,000 here. So I'm earning, actually, hold that thought because we're gonna be talking about the elements shortly. So it's not quite 1%. You could be earning 1%, but there's a caveat. So you're gonna be earning a percentage, all right, of those deposits that are gonna be added to your available section right here on a daily basis. Not at once every 24 hours, but as the day progresses. Your claim tokens, so if you decide to claim, right, you're available, of course, your deposits you cannot touch. Referral rewards, if you're a team lead. Max payout, the number of tokens you can maximum reach. And that maximum payout, once you do reach that, your wallet doesn't function anymore. You're not going to be earning dividends. It stops. And that maximum payout, again, it's not a straightaway process, but understand that you can increase that through your deposits. So the more you refuel, the more that increases as well. So that's also good news. Team, right, shows direct and direct. Now this one is a separate token actually called Sidekick Finance, SK. And that determines your daily. We mentioned this a few seconds ago. And HNW, we're familiar with HNW, determines the percentage of your maximum payout. Now, SK you can get by purchasing SK. So I'm gonna go to the website right here, sidekick.finance. This is a partner of HNW. And you can purchase, right? If you click on buy now, you purchase SK and then you stake it. And then in return, you get XSK. So we discussed how HNW approaches this when it comes to staking. So when you stake, you get, you basically transfer HNW to XHNW. Here, same principle, SK to XSK. And yeah, you would need that if you want to play with your daily percentage. All right. One more thing I would like to mention is that since we discussed the migration process of HFUEL, HFUEL has a total supply of 70 million. Unfortunately, right now the new version, so let's call it V2, has that many, meaning there's still more than 35 million tokens yet to be transferred. We're talking approximately actually 47, yeah, 46.4 something. Yeah, so that's a lot of tokens that still remain in the original contract. And don't be alarmed, the biggest holder here is actually the refinery. So the refinery has almost 76% of the total supply right now in HFUEL embedded within. Alright, jumping straight into the elements. So as I discussed when I covered the dashboard, there are a few things that depend on other things that are a bit dynamic per se. So first things first, the maximum payout depends on how many XHNW tokens you hold. So just to reiterate, XHNW is the staked version of HNW, right? So when you stake HNW, you get XHNW. So basically that gives more incentive for people to stake. So the more you have of this, the more your maximum payout increases. From 255.5, the basic, all the way to 365% with 250 XHNW. Now, today's price, I think, is about 6.5-ish. So yeah, that's a steep price to pay, but if you have a big bag, I'd say it's worth it. Considering that HNW has corrected more than 50% since its all-time high. So yeah. For the daily return on investment, so the percentage that you get based on your deposits on a daily basis, is also dynamic based on XSK, and that's the staked version of Sidekick, right? The Sidekick token, the one we actually saw a few minutes ago. So you can buy it from Sidekick Finance, and then you get the SK, you stake it, and that's it. So you need to have from 0 to 50k tokens, right, in order to benefit from the biggest daily return possible, 1.2%. At the time of shooting this video, we saw what is the ratio between the two, X and HNW. Now for SK is 1/34, so still a better ratio kinda, but still. So technically you're paying 34% extra to get the same amount in the staked version. Sorry, SK. And XHNW is also used for team referrals. Now, yeah, so we started HNW from one utility, now we have 4 utilities, so yeah, elite token, straight up. And the levels go from 1 all the way to 15, and those are the numbers of tokens you need to hold to benefit. And understand that when I say levels, so level 1 are basically your direct, so the people right under you, the people who used your wallet as a wingman, right? Level 2 are the people who used your direct's wallets as wingman. And you get the idea, and so on and so forth. So to benefit from all of these, right, referral bonuses, you need to hold these HNW tokens. Referral bonuses are 5% on deposits, and that's it. There are no bonuses from compounds as opposed to other ROI platforms. So that's something to understand. Coming back to the most important part, I would say, and one of the sustainability factors, let's call it, are the taxes. Because all of these taxes that you see here are gonna be all put together into a pool that's gonna pay out these dividends. And there are taxes basically on almost everything other than compounds, right? So deposits into the refinery. I mean referral on compound. Yeah, just scratch that. So compound here is your own personal compound. You're paying 5%, but your wingman won't get anything. So anyways, deposits, compounds, claims. Claims is the steepest because you're not very incentivized to keep claiming. First of all, if you do keep claiming, you're gonna reach your maximum payout sooner than you would if you compounded more, right? That's one thing. Second thing, because you're supposed to be a smart investor, and a smart investor would not just leash onto the platform and keep claiming. A smart investor would grow his bag, would grow his deposits, and claim when he needs to based on intervals. So always have your own strategy, be responsible, and take profits. That's very important. And because you're in profit, pay that tax, that claim tax. It's fine. You're already in profit. Buy sells are basically the taxes that are being drawn from the HFUEL purchases and sales. And transfer if you're gonna get going to another wallet. So if you plan to take that HFUEL, send it to another wallet, or even airdrop it to another wallet, that's also considered a transfer. You're gonna get taxed 5%. On top of this, there's even a whale tax. It is calculated based on the total claimed plus the total available. So they see what's in your claimed plus what you have right now as liquid HFUEL, added that, and if that exceeds 1% of the supply, then you're gonna get an extra tax on top of the required ones. And you can see it ranges from 1% to 8%, and that also gives an added tax each time that percentage you hold increases of the total supply. And that brings me to the maximum amount of HFUEL a person can ever claim, right, is 8%. So even if you increase your deposits to a stage where your max payout is very high, right, you have the most number of HNW tokens, you're at the max, you cannot exceed 8% of the total supply of HFUEL. yeah, that's the maximum you can reach. After that, your wallet stops paying dividends. And yeah, you need at least one HFUEL to enter, right? You need something. And at the time of shooting, one HFUEL token would cost you about 35 cents, $0.35. Yeah, we mentioned the taxes. Now I wanted to mention that even though, right, we discussed that we're in a V2 HFUEL token now, so we're in the second version of it, and people need to migrate their old versions. And as you can see, there's a difference between what I wrote here and BSC scan because people are still migrating. But one thing remains that most of the tokens, so more than 76% of them, are in the refinery. When I say are in the refinery, I mean that they are basically locked forever. So those 76.2% are technically gone. So what you get are just the dividends. So if you think about it, in order to get back those 76.2%, people would need to start claiming today. And if they do that, they'd need 100 days at least to be able to get back all of their tokens. And that's, of course, not something that should be encouraged because it's nonsense. Just to put it out there. I'm not giving a financial advice, of course. You can do whatever you want with your money, but why would someone enter an ROI platform if they don't plan on increasing that deposit they have to get to a stage where they claim rewards? Doing so responsibly, of course, is enough for them if they need it for expenses and so on. So yeah, if you want to find a team, actually you're new to this whole thing, you can head over to this Telegram link and you can see all of the teams being advertised. This is something supported by the team, by the HNW team itself, so it's official. It's not someone from the community who made it. So you can go and check all the incentives, and you can go and check basically what are the communities that are offering these incentives. So yeah, this is actually very cool. I think I found the team very cool team when I looked at this team builder channel. So yeah, I would suggest for you to head there and start looking if you plan to join the refinery. So yeah, taxes are great as far as sustainability goes, but unfortunately we cannot rely on that if we want to keep the platform alive, if we want to keep it growing, if you want to take it to further heights. And that's exactly what the team wants to do. So I mentioned that this is a team that builds protocol that wants to add many things on top of its various partnerships that you can look for on the website. Their next big product, as you can clearly see here based on the icons, right, is the Launchpad. The Launchpad is going to be used to launch various new projects, and there's a bit of a caveat because all the revenues generated from this Launchpad are going to be distributed across all the protocols. HNW stakers and NFT holders will get a small piece. Refinery people will get an incentive by the liquidity that's going to be injected in both HFUEL and HNW. So there's an indirect incentive for the refinery because this injection basically means that we're going to be buying HFUEL off the market, hence increasing the price, decreasing the supply, and keep the ball rolling. And that's just one project that's coming along in the near future. Knowing the team and what they have in mind, they plan on keep launching stuff, they plan on keep building stuff on top of what they have, improve their protocols, and take this to further heights. I have full confidence, but again, I've been with them since October 2021, following up closely, sometimes very active, recently not so much, but still. So do your own research and just go on the Telegram, chat with them, decide if it's something that you want to dip your toes in, if you want to get in with, if you want to try and increase your bag, your portfolio, so worth a shot. Now before I leave, just keep in mind Even though whatever I said sounds bullish and all, but yeah, just keep in mind that only invest whatever your risk tolerance allows you to. I don't go overboard, of course. Just keep that risk tolerance in check. It's like every investment, right? This is a risk at the end of the day. It's not something guaranteed. No one knows what will happen. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And this is certainly not financial advice. Certainly. Take this as education and not as such. Thanks for watching.